Hi there and welcome to another car cleaning guru video featuring this intimidating looking 300 plus brake horsepower Imperial Blue Mark 1 Ford Focus RS eagle-eye viewers may have spotted sitting in the background of a previous video. Again, being a well-kept enthusiast's car confined to dry weather driving only, the fast forward is pretty clean to begin with, so no huge before and after transformations here I'm afraid. Although with the driveway having recently been resanded and the car living outdoors exposed to the great British weather, there was a small amount of contamination sitting on the lower areas of the car, as well as some light water spotting and streaking that needed removing from the paintwork. I also had a box of fresh Californian booty from Royal Detail Club I promised to work my way through, and so thought I'd take the opportunity to introduce them to the relatively rare RS to see what sort of a pick-me-up, if any, this new range of products could give to the 13-year-old hot hatch. With no dedicated snow foams or pre-washes yet included in the range, I started by testing out some of the pink exterior cleanse shampoo, which I was assured could be safely used through a foam lance. Making sure to save some for the subsequent wash, I diluted about a third of the small sample bottle into my snow foam lance and coated the car from top to bottom. As expected, with it not being a dedicated snow foam, the cleanse shampoo didn't create the thick long lasting suds a true pre-cleaning product would, but still produced enough of a lather to gently loosen what little dirt there was sitting on the surface, and while admittedly not the perfect solution, it was certainly better than nothing. After being left to soak for a few minutes, the diluted shampoo solution was then thoroughly rinsed off to prepare the car for contact washing with the same product, and despite it appearing clean to begin with, as with any vehicle I haven't attended to before, I spent some time on the pre-rinse stage to ensure any unseen contaminants were removed from all areas of the unacquainted body. Rinsed off and ready for washing, the chunky OZ racing wheels were first attended to. Again, with no dedicated wheel cleaner yet in the Royal Detail Club lineup, I had to go with a staple diluted all-purpose cleaner to lift off the light brake dust, which was worked in with a couple of different detail brushes. However, I did also ensure I washed over them with a mitt full of the cleanse product. The pink shampoo, which incidentally also smells pink, was then drizzled into my grit-guarded wash bucket and fully frothed up before being used to give the Focus a dedicated 2-bucket bath. A Noodle-style microfibre wash mitt was also supplied to use alongside the cleanse shampoo, and while I wouldn't normally choose to go with one of these myself, I thought why not? As per usual, I worked my way around the car in a methodical manner, washing it with what looked like one of the Cookie Monster's testicles from top to bottom a section at a time. Before rinsing said testicle out in one bucket, sudsing it up in the other and repeating the process. With only a relatively small amount of product being added after having to split the sample between snow foaming and wheel cleaning, the shampoo still seemed to lather up well, and its sweet scent made the whole wash process really quite pleasant. The main reason I've never gone with a microfibre mitt like this before is that I assumed it'd fall apart quite quickly, but as soon as I shoved my hand into this one, I could immediately tell it was as equally robust, if not more so, than the synthetic ones I've been buying in bulk and using for years now. Plus, with a mitt like this, you don't get any annoying small pieces of unsightly fluff catching on the edges of badges and trim, which, let's be honest, is never a good look. Once all areas of the hot hatch had seen enough of the Cookie Monster's privates, it was pressure rinsed off one last time to remove all the suds and stray dirt particles prior to drying. Two waffle weave style towels were supplied by Royal Detail Club, a blue one for glass cleaning and a white one for drying, and while I generally prefer to go with a more traditional style microfibre drying towel, there's no denying that waffle weaves are very effective at soaking up water. It did feel a little like I was drying the car off with a kitchen tea towel, and although it was adequate for something this size, I suspect it would struggle to soak all the surface rinse water up from anything larger without excessive wringing, so something with a little extra surface area might be a future consideration for the brand. With the lower areas being dried off last, it was then time to move on to the next product in the Royal Detail Club booty box, the Nero Tyre and Trim Shine, a non-silicone polymer-based protectant that can easily be used on all dark exterior trim. It was worked into the tyre walls with a black microfibre applicator pad, which made things a little more time consuming than the foam type I would normally use. However, I could immediately tell it was a product I liked, and the quality of finish it gave was superb. It also smelled minty fresh, which isn't something you'd expect from a product designed to dress the dirty bits. Nero can also be buffed over after application if preferred, but I was happy with the relatively factory looking finish it had already achieved, and so went on to drying off the face of the wheels with the same white towel used for the body, as I most likely wasn't going to be using it again for paintwork. Next up was a basic hand polish of the Imperial blue paintwork using Royal Detail Club's Wet Polish and Shine Mild compound, designed to eliminate light scratches, swirl marks and oxidation in a single step, which was applied via a vibrant luminous green microfibre applicator pad and buffed off with a plush blue microfibre towel. Once dabbed over the area to be polished and spread over the surface, it was worked in using a combination of both circular and linear motions. I'd also been sent a bottle of Xipp waterless wash and wax, and while I wasn't going to have the time to properly test it out here, I did try it as a detail spray to help lift off any stub and polish residue from the paint, as I was now polishing in the direct sunlight. It soon became apparent that this product unfortunately wasn't going to make things easy. It may have been the microfibre pad, the amount of product I was using, the direct sun, or a combination of all three, but the polish was quickly caking up on application and proving difficult to properly remove. Although microfibre pads tend to give more bite when used in conjunction with a polish, I still mostly prefer to go with a dense foam applicator, as I find that despite the conditions or how much product you use, they still give a more uniform application and help to avoid the issues I was having here. But in keeping with the theme of the video, I wanted to stick with the microfibre pad that was sent over with the product. Despite the troubles with it, I continued to work my way around the car, polishing as many areas as I could with the wet polish and shine to see how much I could enhance the finish prior to protecting it. And despite being a bit of a nightmare to work with, when I did manage to break it down and buff it off, it actually gave quite a nice finish, free from any marring or swirl marks of its own. Once I felt the finish was as good as I could realistically get it by hand with this pad and polish combo, I then moved on to its liquid shield Carnauba wax counterpart to be applied via a white microfibre applicator pad and contrasting orange microfibre buffing towel. Again, I always prefer to apply waxes and protectants with foam applicator pads as they give more of an even coat, plus no bite or heavy working is required by the pad at this stage. Still, I stuck with what was received and got to work with it. Thankfully this product was a different story. Despite using it in conjunction with a thick microfibre pad, it spread well and buffed off with incredible ease. Being pushed for time as I always am when shooting, I couldn't really afford to hang around waiting for it to haze on the panels fully, and so removed it promptly following application, yet surprisingly this didn't seem to matter as there were no smears to contend with and the Carnauba buffed off easier than any protective product I've used in a long while. Once applied and spread over the surface, the wax was for the most part worked in using more linear motions, roughly following the contours of the car before being buffed off in the same manner. The liquid wax not only protects against the elements and things like UV rays, but also helps to mask fine scratches and swirl marks, which is great if your paintwork isn't completely defect free post polish. I really did enjoy using this product and reckon the excellent results it was giving could have been improved even further if the product was layered and used in conjunction with a soft foam applicator pad instead of a microfibre one. Once all areas of the car had been primitively polished and thoroughly protected, the orange Xipp wash and wax was again employed to give the paintwork a final once over to remove any stubborn spots I may have missed and hopefully boost the finish further. The final product to test in the Royal Detail Club booty box was their alcohol and ammonia free stealth glass cleaner, which would hopefully give the windows a crystal clear finish to match the freshly polished and waxed paintwork. It was lightly spritzed over the exterior of each window before being thoroughly worked in with the last remaining blue waffle weave towel to give a nice easy smear free finish in the direct sunlight, which is always a good sign as windows can often be a misery to wipe down in such conditions. Royal Detail Club clean complete, it was of course time for the sun that had been shining all day to naff off behind the clouds for the final aftershots. While it's hard to give a truly accurate impression of a new product range when using them on a well presented car, the finished results certainly got the owner's seal of approval, as it was apparently the cleanest it had looked since it had been properly attended to last year. The pink cleanse shampoo did just that, while leaving no unsightly streaking behind, and reacted well to being ran through the foam lance, although a dedicated snow foam product to complement the shampoo would be nice. The Nero tyre and trim dressing was definitely one of the nicer products I've used, and while its gooey formula meant it took a little longer to apply, the lovely looking factory finish it gave was well worth it in my opinion. Admittedly, I didn't have the best of times with the wet polish and shine, but then it doesn't take much for many more established polish products to get upset, and I think if I'd been working undercover and perhaps with a foam applicator pad, it may well have been a different story. The outright favourite of the day for me was the Liquid Shield Carnauba wax, which was an absolute pleasure to use, and I'll definitely be inquiring about getting my hands on some more of it. I couldn't fault the brilliantly named Stealth Glass Cleaner either, and although I didn't get a chance to properly test the Xipp wash and wax out on a dirty car, I can say it seemed to work well for what I used it for, and although I prefer not to use waterless wash products, I'd be happy to use it as a spray detailer or for a quick fix to top up protection after drying. So there you have it, another clean car made even cleaner. Do let me know if you've used any of these products and what your honest opinion of them is in the comments below, and of course if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel to catch more unadulterated car cleaning conduct.